2025 F1 season hasn't even started. But some teams are already in serious trouble. While McLaren looks stronger than ever, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Alpine and others are facing unexpected setbacks that could change everything. Some drivers might not even last the full season. And behind the scenes, tensions between the FIA and Formula One are reaching a breaking point. So what's really going on? Last year, Red Bull was nearly untouchable, winning race after race with ease. But as the new season approaches, things aren't looking quite so dominant anymore. The RB21, their latest challenger, is proving difficult to tame. Unlike previous years, where Red Bull started strong and simply refined their car throughout the season, this time they've entered 2025 in a more uncertain position. There doesn't appear to be a fundamental design flaw, but getting the RB21 into the right working window has been a serious challenge. Both Max Verstappen and Liam Lawson have visibly struggled with the car's handling, and that's particularly concerning for Lawson. He's stepping into one of the toughest jobs in F1, trying to do what no Red Bull teammate has done for the last 6 years, consistently match Verstappen's level. And let's not forget, this is Lawson's first full season in Formula One. He's never even started a season before, so adjusting to the senior team under this kind of pressure is far from ideal. Early signs in Bahrain testing showed some promise, with Lawson appearing to get more comfortable. But Red Bull still hasn't unlocked the full potential of the RB21. The biggest problem? The team itself admits they didn't make as much progress over the winter as they wanted to. While the car might look similar to last year's dominant RB20, Red Bull insists that the changes are actually numerous, and those changes have forced them into a longer learning process instead of simply picking up where they left off. The good news? Some of those changes might ultimately pay off. The RB21 has a flatter setup window, meaning it's less peaky and unpredictable than its predecessor. But the potential is still untapped, and until Red Bull truly understands where it's lacking, they won't be able to bring the necessary upgrades. And in a season where McLaren is looking dangerously fast, any delay in performance development could prove costly. Then there's the looming mid-season flexi-wing clampdown set to take effect at the Spanish Grand Prix. Red Bull hopes this will shift the balance in their favour, but if their early struggles persist, it could instead deal a serious blow to Verstappen's title defence and their hopes of reclaiming the Constructors' Championship. At this point, it might be a case of damage limitation in the opening rounds until Red Bull can solve the mystery of the RB21. But if they can't, could we finally see Verstappen's iron grip on Formula One start to slip? When Aston Martin burst onto the scene in 2023, they looked like future title contenders. But after a rough second half of 2024, the AMR 25 was supposed to be their redemption. Instead, Fernando Alonso says the car feels nearly identical to the one that struggled at the end of last season. And that's a serious problem. The biggest issue? Instability. Early testing showed that Aston Martin is still struggling with unpredictability, especially in high-speed corners. The team had hoped to iron out these issues over the winter, but if Alonso's early feedback is anything to go by, they may have just built a slightly better version of last year's car. And then there's Lance Stroll. The Canadian driver missed crucial testing time due to illness, leaving him even further behind in adapting to the new car. While Aston Martin has publicly downplayed the concerns, insiders say that internally, the team knows they're not where they wanted to be. Many fans are looking toward Adrian Newey, who is joining Aston Martin in March. But that's the key issue. Will he be able to fix the problems of 2025? While Aston Martin struggles to make progress, one driver is in an even worse situation. In fact, his entire F1 career could be on the line in just a few races. Over at Alpine, the focus isn't just on car performance, it's on who will even be driving for them by the end of the season. Jack Doohan, the highly rated Australian rookie, was finally given his chance in F1 this year, but rumours suggest he may not get much time to prove himself. According to paddock insiders, Doohan's future is already under review. If his performances aren't up to standard in the first few races, Alpine could replace him as early as mid-season. And waiting in the wings is none other than Franco Colapinto, another rising star who many believe has already secured a future spot in the team. Team principal Oliver Oakes has defended Doohan, saying he needs time to develop, but he also admitted that in Formula One, Patience is a rare commodity. For Doohan, the message is clear: deliver results quickly or risk being replaced. But if Doohan's future is uncertain, Sauber's problems are even worse. In fact, they might have just built the slowest car on the entire grid. After years of struggling in the midfield, Sauber had high hopes for 2025. The team, which will transform into Audi in 2026, expected to take a step forward this year. Instead, they might have just taken a step backward. Pre-season testing exposed major issues with the new Sauber car. On both single lap pace and long runs, they were consistently at the bottom of the timesheets. Rookie driver Gabriele Bortoleto has struggled to get comfortable, and even veteran Nico Hülkenberg has avoided giving direct answers about the car's performance. One of the biggest concerns? The car is running too stiff, leading to major handling issues. This makes it not only slow but incredibly difficult to drive, especially over long stints. For Sauber, this isn't just about 2025. The team is expected to be competitive under Audi's management in the future. But if they completely collapse this year, it could put the entire project in jeopardy. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, F1 itself is facing one of its biggest political battles in years. It's no secret that tensions between the FIA and Formula 1 teams have been rising over the past few seasons. But in 2025, things may have finally reached a boiling point. FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem is once again at the centre of controversy, this time over the governing body's refusal to sign an NDA with F1 management. This has sparked outrage from several teams, who believe the FIA is becoming increasingly unpredictable and difficult to work with. There are also growing concerns about Ben Sulayem's leadership. Some insiders say that cracks are forming within the FIA itself, with divisions emerging between different factions of the governing body. And then there's the new rule changes. For the first time, teams will face stricter limits on driver-team communication during races. But with little clarity on how this will be enforced, the season opener in Australia could turn into a chaotic test case for the new regulations. If this power struggle continues, it could have massive consequences, not just for the 2025 season, but for the future of Formula 1 itself. With teams struggling, drivers under pressure, and F1 politics heating up, one thing is certain: this season will be anything but predictable. Red Bull is scrambling to fix their car, Aston Martin's progress has stalled, and some drivers might not even finish the season. Meanwhile, Sauber is facing a nightmare start, and tensions between the FIA and F1 are reaching new heights. Will the struggling teams bounce back, or are we witnessing the beginning of a major shift in the F1 hierarchy? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the 2025 season is already shaping up to be a wild ride. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more F1 updates, controversies, and behind the scenes stories. Stay tuned, because this season is just getting started.